And we're here.
Yep, just like I talked about yesterday, we are on and
Back in the
back.
saddle.
Yeah, back. We got some things to work out today.
We got a lot of stuff to cover. But first off, hello, Chris Hope. Haven't seen you in a bit.
There we
Howdy,
got a whole bunch
fella.
of people popped in.
Chuck is here. Chuck's here. Lori's here. Howdy, you two. That random tech guy, whoever that is.
Oh,
And then we got a new arrival, SC Redneck RC. Howdy, fella. Welcome. I guess we'll smurf him right away. Let's see here. Turn that off. And where are you? All right. We're going to add you as a standard moderator because that's what we do around here, right? All right. Redneck RC, you've been smurfed. So, Chris, Chuck. It's like Duck, Goose or something. So, where to start? Where should we start?
We got a lot of things to grind on today for sure.
Yeah, we got a lot of ground to cover. Let's start out with the elephant in the room. DJI and the lack of inventory. And Chicken Little and the sky is falling.
Oh no.
And then some people decided to fire up their VPN and order stuff out of Canada. Which apparently that's still a thing you can do too. And going through shipping partners in Canada, and I don't know what all they're doing there, but
smuggling.
Yeah,
smuggling.
We're going to bootleg. We're going to bootleg air units. So we're going to be back to that same catastrophe that we had with the 03 air units when they first hit the market.
Here,
remember where people would buy iFlight and Gep RC in China?
I just got to go stage right for just a second here. I got to grab something.
Okay, go stage right.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to grab something different.
Well,
something out of my parts bin.
Oh boy, here we go. The parts bin, the junk drawer.
No, nothing. I'm looking for non-reflective spectacles.
Non-reflective spectacles.
Yeah, I got these. These will be less reflective. It bugs me. I just need to be able to, there we go. That's better. I just need to be able to see stuff. These aren't as good as my other glasses, but they're I keep them around just for the heck of it. There we go. I've got my good ones, my good ones, and then these.
Oh, Chuck is coming out. Chuck is coming out of the closet. Chuck is coming out of the closet. He got himself the Mavic 4 Pro. I already knew about this for a number of days, but I didn't want to ruin his big moment.
Ruin his show, yeah.
He got his from Adorama. So
I would have it too. I mean, I'm losing interest, and that's the problem with that. I'm looking forward at the minis coming up and the the Neo 2 potential.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think that I would definitely want to own that. And I'm definitely curious about it, but it's really an expensive proposition if you can't get it US direct. So I'm not. But that's cool. It flies like a Mavic 3, which means it flies awesome. And
Yeah, well, we figured it would fly awesome. And we've got the big release of the Mini 5 coming out on August 7th for everybody but the US. Because I'm going to make this prediction right now. Mini 5 is going to get released to everybody in the world but the US. And to get to your plea from yesterday was Parrot needing to step up and coming back into the prosumer consumer market. Ain't never going to happen. They're making way too much money selling to the government to even bother with customers.
Yeah.
It's not just that you make less money with the customers. You also need more infrastructure, because then you're going to need support center and people answering telephones and emails. And Parent being a French company, I know that their service ain't going to be too great, because what's the German, no, the French word for customer service?
You broke it.
There's no such thing.
You broke it. It's your fault. What are you telling us? That our drone does not work? What is it? You must have broke it. What did you do to it?
Yeah.
It would be your fault. It wouldn't be anything. Technically, so about the like I said, the 4, Chuck was talking, he brought up the fact the RC2 at Pro, which is really, to me, that's, I think, the big step forward there. Anytime
it is the RC2 Pro.
Yeah. And that I think is really interesting. I'm sure he's loving that. That just makes tons of sense to have that better screen that lifts up. That's what people have been doing, They've been taking their controllers and adding a higher nit value screen. They throw some better electronics in it and a better Android chip or whatever they put in there. And
well, I mean, I don't know why people want to spend that kind of money on the Mavic 4. I just saw an advertisement again for a drone with the screen on the controller and everything for $150.
Yeah.
And the footage they showed every bit as good as Mavic 4.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I before the stream, I was going through videos, and one of my fellow drone reviewers put up a new one today, and I'm just going to keep it generic, my comment. And it was a drone that from a company that I've done a bunch of reviews for, and he does the review and everything, and he doesn't address all the stuff that sucks about it and have not changed. And I just looked through it, and as he was flying it, and I'm like, okay, how'd you get your footage? Because these cheaper drones do not have a direct link to the SD card. So when you USB-C connect them, they don't connect directly. So you have to take the card physically out. And every time I take the card out, I get a read error. No matter what computer I put it in, it gets a read error. And then if you try to use their app to download, the drone will overheat. It's just, as you're trying to bring, if you say you did like an 8-minute file, you can't, because you can't get the footage out. It's an absolute shit show. And anyway, the cameras are getting better. The drone is the same. So it's frustrating from that perspective. And every time I get one of those, I'm like, they still have the same problem. Nobody wants to fix that. So lipstick on a pig, change the drone body, put the same electronics in it, do the manual calibrations. Nothing changes. Tenzic's the only one that's done that. Tenzic is the only one that has smoothed out that process, and they're the best drone, non-DJI drone available right now. So at least from my perspective, from a simple mini platform viewpoint. On the other hand, they also made it harder, right? And I'm sure you're going to address this today, to get parts for building, for FPV building. So we're getting very creative.
Yeah.
But isn't that going to come to a shortage soon?
It's already at a shortage.
Yeah, flight controllers, motors. Okay, we got the Holy Bro thing. That sucks. It's like everything's gonna go, and what's gonna keep us in the game is, drone bodies that are built with all the, pre-built or whatever. What do you call them?
Well,
Ones that
it's
don't
going to
come
be what's going to happen on the secondary market. People are going to pull their air units out of the quad and sell the rest of the quad without a VTX on it.
Yeah.
And Art is here. Howdy, fella. I haven't seen you in a bit either. Drone Delirium is here. Who am I missing?
Dropped Art a little love there.
Akiraso. Solent Chips. Hey, we got a bunch of people. If y'all here, make sure you hit that stupid thumbs up down there, if you would. I much appreciate that.
Yeah, Drone Delirium, you brought up the Anafi. That's not the best those guys can do. You know that they right now are doing much better things. And like Kai said, they're not gonna. They're probably not gonna do that. But why wouldn't you? There is gonna be a squeeze in the government market. It will squeeze. There's only so many contracts. And they're gonna pick the best contractors. Money, is it an endless pot?
Well,
to just avoid consumer.
This is where the DJI ban comes in, because now all of a sudden all these police departments, fire departments, and everybody else that bought DJI gonna have to ditch their DJI shit and buy Parrot or Skydio or whatever. Okay. And then, in 2 years from now, they figure out, oh, Parrot is a French company. We don't like the French anymore. So here we go for another. No, then there's 2 years of bickering about it, and then Parrot gets outlawed, and we're for a whole new other generation.
I think the French
can just keep this game going and going and going.
He's got a scratch. Sorry, I got another one. I'm looking through a scratch. The French, I'm going to throw these in the trash, by the way. The French owe us, man. I told you that yesterday. They freaking owe us a debt that they will never be able to repay. Build us freaking drones. Get your French butts out there. I mean, you guys can supply our consumer needs and get us a training platform. That's what we're asking for. We're asking for training platforms. So young people and people that can get involved in the hobby, learn the hobby, from the GPS perspective, because not everybody is going to fly an FPV quad, because not everybody can do it. It's something that you have to learn, and it's not. And there's a lot of people that are not willing to learn, because you could take an FPV quad and obviously the Ukrainian war is basically showing you that, and fly it into a freaking building from 150 miles away. Well, not that long, but pretty close. So it's
here's the solution right here.
I'm switching off again. I'm listening.
We get the first batch of the Falcon Mini shipping. We actually have a picture with a bunch of boxes on it that claims to be the first shipment of the Falcon Mini. The Quadcopter Mini, whatever you want to call it.
All right. Okay. We could actually talk about 00 if you want to.
I don't want to talk about 00.
You don't?
No.
Oh, that's so much better. Oh my gosh.
I got way too much other shit that need to be talked
Okay,
about
all right.
than 0-0. It's
Okay, I'm
just
just bringing
I
up zero
know
zero.
Jim. I know Jim has a mini Falcon Mini on order. So when I saw this on Facebook, I had to snag a screenshot of it to show, give Jim some good news. Jim Stronning, he ain't here yet, so I guess he's missing out. So, but yeah, there we go.
Falcon Mini.
The Falcon Mini is shipping.
Well, maybe if they get it, if there's, they get everybody with the, maybe I'll try that one out. That's something I can do. It's a project that I can handle. It would be fun, I guess, for just to be different.
We're going the French, yeah, flying croissants. There you go.
Oh man, come on, you guys. You guys know the Anafi was a good drone. It was a really good drone. It had really nice, I like the delicate features of it. It wasn't overbuilt. It was the first X open design. It was really good. The controller was good. It was recycled by the freaking Skydio people.
The controller was, yeah.
It's just, they really did a good job. I was a huge fan of Parrot. I was flying their Bebops when I first started flying. I really like those. I love the single lens, the optical stave that thing had. It was so advanced. It just makes me mad. And then, of course, the wing. You forget about the wing, Kai. I can't even remember the name. The disco, yeah. God, that was cool. God, the disco was fun. I
know there's a disco for sale right now in Alaska that's already got the freaking 4G mod done to it.
Wow.
And he wants about $500 for that thing.
That's it? Damn, you put your own batteries in it.
You can make your own batteries.
Yeah.
For that.
Wow. Yeah,
you can make some lithium ion batteries to fly that thing on.
Yeah, the disco was a winner too. It was just another really cool French design. So I'm not going to give the French too much crap. I really, as much as the Germans don't like the French and how much the French
we love the French.
They only have one gear on their tank.
We love the French. They planted trees along the street so we could march in the shade.
That's right. They did. They did. Oh, okay. That's
bad joke.
You come on. Everybody's okay with that one. I'm yes.
You know the French flag of war?
Yeah.
White eagle and white background.
Yep, that and the Italians. Oh my Lord, not knowing what side to be on.
So anyhow,
and today was the beginning of the Battle of Gettysburg.
You want to go there? You were there.
I saw a bunch of Civil War forts. I went up to the Vicksburg. I was at Vicksburg, which is a pretty cool place, battlefield site to go to. So, yeah, today, July 1st.
Battle or for the enactment?
The original, the Battle of, and then there's an ironclad that they restored parts of it. That's just neat. It's just freaking engineered so cool. So the Cairo was sunk, was the only ironclad, the Union ironclad sunk. But yep, Gettysburg, July 1st, 1863. All right. But yeah, all right, Kai, let's move on. We gotta hit some topics here so we don't They don't run out of time.
I do want to share one more thing though, because it's just too freaking funny. My first aquarium. Jar of pickled herrings. My first aquarium.
I never found that to be good. My grandmother ate so much of that on crackers. The smell. Oh, we're gonna open up a fresh jar. So I've saved this for like 5 years. Take it out of the cabinet.
Yep.
Cow pens, Battle of Cow Pens. Yeah, that's a civil. That's a Revolutionary War battle.
So I love that 3D printer, by the way. In case you couldn't tell yet, I do love the damn thing. Now I've needed to mock up, and I wanted to know how big the 04 camera is. So I found this thing online and printed it out. And
yeah, those are awesome for mocking up. I've always thought about that, and when you did it, it kind of rang a bell. Like, oh, if we want to set up a mock up real quick, we got a quick spacer and figure out how to get it mounted.
I've been printing all sorts of shit over the past week here. I mean, I've been giving that thing to work out.
You need to. That's how they stay working good.
How to print a new Action 2 camera case.
Ooh, that's nice looking. That's great looking TPU there. That's clean. Yeah, that's really good.
There's a minimal string, and I'll just put a lighter to it and buzz that off real quick. But
most unappreciated,
pretty much how it came out of the machine.
Most unappreciated camera that DJI's put out, the Action 2, man. That thing will do everything you want it to do.
So, but yeah, no, I've been giving that printer a workout. I bought some actually Elegoo brand Rapid PLA Plus, and that shit is just smoking. I mean, it prints in no time.
Yeah, you use the
I kick that thing in ludicrous mode, and it'll print out the bench in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, you use their material, that rapid print setting. Pretty amazing.
You know what? I know right now the bamboo is on sale, and it's only $200 more than the Centauri here. But I tell you, just get the Centauri and save the $200 and buy a bunch of filament, because you're gonna want all the freaking filament you can get your hands on.
What filament do you believe you're going to use the most now? And is the fast print filament heat resistant?
Well, with the fast,
is it like a PET G or a PLA
Plus?
Okay,
It's
so it'll take a fair amount of heat.
Yeah, but I mean, most of my shit's going to be TPU.
Right.
That's going to be just like this.
And that to me
like this. And this is a silk colored or a silk finished.
So how was it setting up between standard filament and TPU? Was there any
just on the slice that change it from PLA Rapid PLA Plus to TPU?
Done. Wow. That to me, that's what you want to hear. That's it. You just change the filament and set it up and just change the material, and wow.
Yeah. The bamboo 3D printer, the P1S, which would be the comparable unit to this, is selling right now for $5.99.
This is a way better deal. I
The
this is
Eligo, the Centauri that I have here, sells for $299.
yeah. I got to get that printer. That's
It's 8 weeks. It's on back order. I mean, you're gonna wait 8 to 12 weeks.
I should probably get that on my list of crap to buy and just get it. Just maybe next month. I'll put it. I've been buying a lot of stuff. I've spent a lot of money in the last. Kind of funny. You want to hear something funny? I've been buying stuff, and I'm gonna wait until my new drone shows up. So I did go back to FPV, and I told Kai that I was looking for something, and I did finally pull the trigger on something. So we'll look at that soon. But I bought a controller. I bought an RC2, so I could have controllers for both the Flip and the Air 3S.
I've bought a controller today too.
And I'm almost done. I went on my account and I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, wait a second, I got a bunch of money gone. Where did my money go? I've been forking away money for months. Okay. I have been just pigeonholing it away, just pigeon, because I thought I was going to buy the Air Mavic 4. It didn't happen. So think about that. I got all that money I was going to, and I'm like, where'd my money go? And my wife she's like looking through her accounts today, and she's like, oh, I'm like, what? I spent a whole bunch of your money. And I'm like, how'd that happen? And she just used a pay app and she just spent it out of my account. I'm like, wait a second. I didn't even know. I don't look at it. I let her do it. She likes that. But she was just embarrassed because she didn't know that it happened. And that's a lot of money. She paid like a huge bill. My daughter's getting married, so there's big bills. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm thinking about what I spent. Was I that on drugs the last couple of days? But anyway. So it's funny, but anyway, it's good. I'm excited because I've got flexibility to go places right now, which is really good. And I'm excited about other things, not locked into DJI right now. And I mean, we're thinking right now, I was talking to Kai about open IPC. I'm like, hey, let's do this. Let's do something open IPC. And once again, Kai talked me off the ledge. I'm getting to the ledge. I'm going to look over. I'm like, that looks really good. And then I finally watched Mads Tech in a blur because I'd just taken a bunch of opiates. And I'm sitting there with my phone last night because I'm going to buy something. And I'm like, I need something to make me happy, which it doesn't, and I ended up buying the right thing and I didn't do something stupid. So thank you, Kai. What's wrong with open IPC?
Everything. Name one thing that's right. The price tag. I guess the price tag. Okay. You can buy the transmitter or VTX and the receiver module for about $200 right now. Okay. That is really good pricing. Okay. The problem is everything else that goes with it is alpha status at best.
Right. It does do a lot of cool stuff, though. You can set that up. It has got menu systems and sub-menu systems. But it's too complex. We can't, the average pilot, you don't need all that. Yeah.
But they need to dumb it down and
he piggybacks. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. He piggybacks analog and open IPC, and immediately you'd go, whoa, that is really good. And then you're looking at his signal meter and it's really pumping out great signal strength. And you're like, it's basically boosted Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
And it's just because I used to fly with boosted Wi-Fi and I'm like, okay, this could be what
Well,
is going to,
technically,
yeah,
Walksnail and DJI is nothing but boosted Wi-Fi.
right. They just are
Okay?
big
It's
companies that,
but it's the way they boost it.
yeah.
It is the way they boosted it. So
Yeah, it's not the end all yet. We're waiting. We're very close. I'm hoping it comes to our rescue just in time for us to play with it in a version that we can actually install on something we already own, or I can put it on Mario, Mario 5 would be a great like practice platform. Me even maybe a little one of my big whoop, my 3.5-inch whoop. That would be a great one to practice with, but
yeah.
it's not right. It's jittery. You yaw with it, and that's not smooth.
Well,
Latency is good, right?
they
Isn't it
they
late?
need it. They need to get that thing out to get more exposure on it and get more people feeding back
Right.
for them to be able to develop this product better.
He did
So
say the latency was good. We did the bench test where he was videoing himself.
yeah.
That was pretty good. I thought that was good. The
Um,
Insta app. Okay.
there is, and then HD0 came out was a new goggle today. The goggles 2,
Yeah.
which the outside looks the same, but they completely redid the guts on it. If you want, go on Matt's Tech channel. He's got them things completely broken down, and you can watch that thing in a million pieces to your heart's content.
Hey, Ben T.
Ben T is here. Is it already taco time?
Are you going to give us the skinny on those? Whether you think that step up in goggles is a direction that some of us might go, hey, that's enough of a step to ditch your previous goggles.
Well, I'm going to fess
They're
up.
not cheap. This is
Yeah,
almost
well,
$800.
650, 649 on the HD0 website.
Okay, so
Okay.
not 7 then, all right.
HD0 doesn't have the same restrictions as DJI has right now. And quite frankly, I'm a little too pissed off at Walksnail right now to even discuss their system. Let me back up on the Walksnail thing real quick. So, y'all know about the plane that I bought that I want to stick a gimbal into. Well, in order to have the gimbal, I need to have head tracking on the goggles. Well, my goggles are first generation goggles. They sent me the stupid little box to double stick tape on top of the goggles, but this box is square and the lid is round, and you can, use your imagination how good that's going to stay on there. It's not. So, Walksnail is advertising and was advertising and still is advertising that the hardware on the goggles is easily upgradable by replacing the main board. So I shot an email to Walksnail. I said, I don't care about the analog part. I just want the head tracking ability on my goggles. How much is one of those main boards? Well, guess what? The new main board they have doesn't get along with the other boards within the goggles. So all boards will have to be replaced. And it's so labor and cost intensive that they recommend I just buy a new goggle and here's a 20% off coupon if you want it. So the one thing that they said on the fucking Avatar Goggle X, hardware upgradable after the fact, is actually a bold fucking lie. And it's just one more bullshit move from CADX and the fucking Walksnail system. It just pisses me off to no end.
They really screwed themselves because it was a really good opportunity for themselves to build some clients, to build their customers, that people that were going, okay, this is cool. It's a non-DJI product. I can go into a different plane of existence. I don't have to, I don't have to do what everybody else is doing. And lo and behold,
No,
they don't. And bait and switch.
I actually wrote them back and I said, do I get this right? The fact that you advertise you have upgradable hardware is actually a no starter because I got to replace the whole freaking goggle. And they said, well, you got the expansion box. And, that's the one thing I don't fucking want. I don't want these fucking Frankenstein goggles where you got 5 million things, double stick tape to everything to where you can, use whatever feature you want. I hate that shit. And I mean, I'm seriously considering just phasing everything walks now out at this point. And yes, I am looking good and hard at HD0.
Yeah, I shared the link I shared was that. So I apologize for the advertising link. I had my my link to menu over the top of my post, and I'm trying to, how am I going to freaking post anything? Anyway, I did share a picture though. That's kind of fun. Little nostalgia if you want to look at that 509 post right there. Click on that link. It'll take you back in time, and you have to appreciate that's a Parrot and Nafi. You have to appreciate it. It's just such a really nice, unique. I mean, everything they're doing right now with the DJI Mavic 4, that thing pretty much could do.
Well, so see, to me, the first nail in the walks nail coffin was after this tariff shit hit. All their freaking VTXs, all their reseller here in the States, their prices on the VTXs went astronomical. The walks nail Moonlight, the 4K system, the one thing that Moonlight or that Walksnail had went to like $280.
Yeah.
For the VTX across the board. And I'm like, I can buy the 04 Pro for $230. Why would I spend an extra $50 on the Walksnail? That's not near as good as the DJI. Okay. That was the one attractor on Walksnail, it was considerably cheaper than anything DJI. Considerably cheaper.
Here, share that picture with for Ben. Ben doesn't have an X account. There we go. That's just a picture of the Parrot and Nafi in its glory. All right,
moving on. The good old Nafi.
Yeah, you don't have to stay there very long. All right, I just wanted
from the good old days.
There. Yeah, the goggles.
Johnny Droneflyer.
So if you went with HD0 goggles,
Johnny can hear too.
If you went with HD0 goggles, how are you going to fly digitally? What are you going to use?
Well, HD0's got their own VTXs.
You would use their what? Right. What's the cost of the? I'd have to research that. I'm not a huge I don't have enough knowledge of that. I should have bought all the $160 03 units. Yeah, you go buy a freaking 5-inch quad, man, with an 03 unit. It's like $800 or $600 or something like that.
The $160 03 units right now sell for about $230.
Yeah.
Even used ones go for 200 plus.
I'll give you a number that will surprise you. Last night I bought a 6-inch dead cat frame quad with an 04 unit for $575. So do your research. If you look hard enough, you'll find it.
All right. Well, we'll just share.
Okay, yeah, if you want to, look at their system. That I would be interested in seeing it. I'm not against doing some stuff FPV wise. It's the only game in town, so it's
All right. So we got the goggle, and we have the
VTX.
race VTX. That's $70.
Put up a link really quick for that so I can quickly grab it. Just drop a link in our. I'm not lazy. It's just faster for me to look at it. I'd rather look at it in full size than.
All right, that's in a private chat.
Okay, thank you.
Texark's drone guy. Hey, Mike. Mike's here. Drone to learn. I think we already said hello to you.
All right, good. Now I can see it.
Hobby Howie went shopping. Hold on. What did he buy? He bought the Speedy B 3.6 flame from Fire Drone motors from Amazon. DJI 04, if this is right now unobtainium. They're not.
Yeah,
if you can get them, you will pay a small fortune for them.
Yeah, look really hard through some of the drone companies that are in the United States. See what they have left in ready to fly drones. You're going to find some, but you have to buy the entire drone, obviously. So you have to look. You just have to decide what you want. There's a 3-inch, for example, Cinewhoop right now with an 04 unit, but it's in the $500 range for a 3-inch. But it's a Cinewhoop, and you have to want a Cinewhoop, and you have to, So anyway, back to the topic.
Well, here's the HD0 goggle 2 in white for $650. And then we got the transmitters. The freestyle is $99. The race was $69, and where the
so their freestyle. What do you count on for recording? It's just basically
here's the freestyle V2 kit. That's the whole kit for $150. That's not a bad price.
Yeah, that's real reasonable.
And then we got nano kit for $100, and then we got the mint tiny whoop kit for $70, and then they created some all-in-one that has the flight controller, the ESC, the radio receiver, the HD0 system, everything built into one for 2 to 3S. And this is 110. So integrated HD0, built-in serial express LRS receiver, flight controller, 4-in-1 amp, and a 5-volt back. So it's like everything you need all wrapped up into one.
Right, but you're back to strapping cameras on your bird, right?
You wouldn't strap a camera on this anyway, because this is 15 amp. This is for tiny whoops.
Right, but you can't record that unless you record it from goggles or.
You got the goggle recording. I don't know if they have.
So there's no VCR within the unit. It just sends and receives. It's for racing, right? Done.
Yeah, no, there's no onboard recording on this one. They don't have a 4K unit at this point.
Yeah. Well, they, like I said, they cater to racers and latency, right? That's their selling. Yeah.
Here's the freestyle.
I mean, they adjust. You can buy diopters for them. They have internal diopters that you can adjust. And you've got a rail system.
The diopters are for the box goggles.
I don't know, this diopter lens insert. I'm looking at the goggles too right now. It says it's there. Diopter lens insert.
Is that for?
No, I'm looking at the HD0. Here, I'm showing you. I'm sharing my screen, man.
Too.
Sharing that right there. Look at this right here. Right there. Lens insert.
Yeah, well, that's if you need custom lenses cut.
Right, but it does have them built in too, right?
It has built-in focus, but if you got what's I forget what the term is, but where your eye needs a certain angle,
right?
Astigmatism.
Most people will buy just for
if you
this
got
reason right here.
astigmatism bad, you need the actual inserts.
So right there is why everybody's buying these. You can like I said, that rail on there, you can
They're
mount
+4 to -7 now.
You can eventually mount open IPC to it, and you can use these as your monitor. So
But to give you an idea, I wear 1.75 plus glasses, but in my goggles 3, I only have it up to +0.5 to see clearly. So there's a difference between what your prescription is and what you actually need in the goggle. So,
but there's this. I mean, they're worth the money. There's no question about it. They've got a lot of. There's a lot of bang for your buck in there. What's the video resolution? 10.
It's got 1080 screens on it.
1080. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. That's what we're used to. You can get them in red.
I mean, there's not going to be no freaking 4K recording unless, you plump another camera on top of it. But, the new goggles, the new goggles have an analog receiver built into it. So if you ever want to dabble back in analog, you can. If the analog receiver on board isn't good enough, it still has to be on the side where you can have the analog modules, traditional analog modules using. Also, it's got Wi-Fi in it to where you can share the video stream to somebody on a cell phone. That's all.
Okay, explain this one. Built-in ELRS backpack.
Yeah, I'm not 100% versed on that backpack stuff. I'm not playing with ELRS enough.
Okay, I'm just wondering
what I'm doing mostly TBS Crossfire.
Right.
I've got one drone right now that has an ELRS receiver on it. Everything else I have is on TBS. The drift up there, it's on TBS. And the plane, it will be on TBS when I'm done with it. Even though I kind of went to the dark side today. I have a confession to make. I went to the dark side. You see this? Yo-ho.
Yep.
You see it?
I had to write down the first words of the "Oh Canada" song. All right.
Yeah, I went and bought a Spectrum radio today.
Where'd you find that?
Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. And you bought a Spectrum radio because you like to collect radios.
Something like that. I've got the plane.
Yeah, I get you.
It's got the Spectrum receiver on it. And I've been trying to get it and set up my GX12 for Spectrum. And it's been a raw pain in the arse. And No, long term, that spectrum receiver is coming out of the plane anyway and gets replaced with a Maytag flight controller. So I can have the full gimbal and OSD and all that. Yeah, Spectrum is still in business. And since I'm flying with a bunch of Spectrum guys at the field, I figured I might as well, kind of join the crowd on that part of it. Because I really just want to go out and fly that plane once just to get a feel for it before I do all that work to it, you know? So, yeah, I went to the dark side and picked up a Spectrum radio today. So, but to get back to how we cannibalize your old drones, keep your old four, and that's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what everybody's going to do.
And that's what was going through my mind last night when I bought this drone. I bought it. I didn't buy it because the drone. I did, in a way, but the VTX in it was 04 Pro, and I'm like, all right, this price makes no sense for what they cost right now, and that was why I bought it. I really bought it for the parts value. It's freaking full of good parts that right now are more expensive than that drone's price point. They're probably just trying to get rid of them. But I should have it I should have it tomorrow. It's going to be here fast. So
there she is. GEP-RC Vapor. That is one sleek looking drone. Now you're going to be really happy with this thing.
Yeah, it'll be a screamer.
I'm going to send you the link to the 1700 mAh batteries that I bought from Tattoo, because that'll be just the right size for this thing.
Yeah, it'll be good.
What do you have left for big batteries? I know you have some big ones for Mr. Croc, but one of them went with Mr. Croc when he went.
No, I
bought on you.
I bought R-Line. I bought a couple of. No, I was buying the CHL batteries.
Yeah,
I've got like 2300s or 21. I can't remember what they are. Got a couple of 6Sers. I'd have to go look. They're in my fridge. They're in my fridge in cold storage. I'll take them out as soon as Vapor shows up.
They're put on ice, literally.
Yeah, they were put in storage mode, and then I just throw them in the fridge. It's a Vapor 6. It's the D Dead Cat version.
There you go. Here's the battery. I bought 4 of these.
Yeah, those are good. That's 1700. Maybe mine are 1400s, Kai. I think the ones I own are 1450s or 1400s. That rings a bell right now.
I've got some 1400s that are on their last leg. I shot you a link in the chat.
Okay.
But yeah, for you FPV guys, if you need batteries, Tattoo ships out of California. So they get to us pretty quick.
I buy everything out of California. That's a good price though, 35. And that's the R lines. Now I do have an R line. I have one R line. I have 2 of the CNHL batteries. The R line has definitely less sag. There's no question about it. It sags less than the other 2.
Yeah,
I do have a 6S Sony lithium ion pack too that I could fly with it if I'm going to do some long range with it.
Bob Casey's here. Howdy, Bob. And Jim Stroning. Jim, you missed it. I showed it earlier. Do I still have it here somewhere? There
I
we
like
go.
the 2 for deals that I get. I don't know if there's been any 2 for deals in a while, but
So, just for Jim. That's not what I want. Hang on, and here. Just in case you didn't know it yet, Jim, but the first batch of Falcon Minis shipped. So, in case you haven't seen that yet, there you go. I saw that. I snagged the picture just for you. Bob Casey, yeah, I had a couple of maiden flights to actually on the channel. I've finally, with my recent graphic cards update, I can finally edit videos where I can actually do something with it. Now, the first video didn't turn out worth a hoot. I had some issues with DaVinci, but the second one actually turned out pretty decent. So, but yes, I built the Seeker 5 and I built a 7-inch, and I finally released both of those videos on the channel earlier this week or over the weekend. Also managed to get over the new Harbor Bridge down in Corpus over the weekend. It finally opened up the new bridge. And it's a big one. I actually have footage on the channel too about that. Let me pull that up. Where'd all my stuff go here? All right. We'll pop in here. Yeah, okay. Let me just stop that again. Somehow the screen sharing doesn't work so hot for me today. All right, here we go. Can we make this? There we go. Just like that. There's the new Harbor Bridge. And she's a big one. Yeah, there's some. We went down there Saturday. They actually had the ribbon cutting for this thing Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon they opened it up to traffic. Well, one direction. Right now, if you come from the north or if you're southbound, you can't get over the new bridge. If you go northbound, you have to still go over on the old bridge. But yeah, this thing is a monster.
yeah, it looks huge.
It's supposed to be one of the biggest bridges in the U.S. right now. Was this kind of construction? They had like 3 construction stops on this thing because of engineering problems and engineering doubts. They changed general contractor in between. Yeah, there was all sorts of delays, and they've been building on this thing for 9 years.
Wow. That's a long project. Oh, sorry.
It's, what was it? $1.3 billion. And here comes Sparkly. Y'all be careful out there. I mean, now we're on the outside the harbor, but that bridge continues on till it hooks in with 37. It's a haul. But
Cool. The bridge, the big bridge. All righty, Kai. I'm done for the day.
You're about done for today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't get to talk.
we're getting close to that. Well, just one more. I've got in the Axis kit for the air unit light. So this is the housing for the main board for the 04 light or 04, whatever you want to call it. And it's actually embossed where you add a little thermal paste on there. And then you just enclose the board in here. There's some extra screws they give you with it. And then you still have the 25 by 25 mounting holes open to actually mount it into a frame.
Yeah, that thing needs that. I mean, everybody
forgets that'll reduce the heat on that side of it. And then we have the other thing that's so bad about the 04 light is the camera, but we now have a housing, and this is actually a metal housing for the camera to sit on. And again, there's a boss in there where you apply some thermal paste, and it cools the camera too. And this is for 14 by 14 or by 14 white. It's taller than 14, but this will mount in a regular nano frame now. And then we have the big brother to this.
I got a phone call I got to get.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And then we have this one for the 20 mil where it will match out to the 03 bolt pattern and protect the camera. And you can actually mount it in 03 frames without having any issues. Now, I also have on order the new Flywoo kit where they have a lens mount in front of it that gives you the 155-degree field of view instead of the 117 that you currently have on the 04 camera. So, Capture Life Connection. Howdy, feller. So there's I'm going to have some building still to do. I actually ordered 2 of the light kits before they went into unobtainium. And I'll be mounting the light in some of my quads and probably take out Walksnail receiver or Walksnail VTXs in the process. So that's going to be coming attractions. And FTFO Media, howdy, feller. Good to see you. And then we have one thing left. And now I got to see how I get there. Because Chuck and Lori want to get elected to... All right, there's that. Where are you at? I need to find it. Yeah, go look through. Yeah, we need votes. They want votes. But for some reason, do you have the link handy? Can you shove it through me through Messenger real quick there, Chuck? And I'll put it up. I should have done that before the show, but I forget that link was only to be found in your community tab. Where is your... There we go. There we go. And there we go. All right. America's favorite couple. So we got 9 days left. They're currently in 6th in their group. So we need to boost them up a little. So if you got time and so inclined, give them a vote. Doesn't cost nothing. So if you want to spend a little money, you can buy extra votes, and that money goes toward charity of some type. See, we got the food bank and impact on hunger relief and ocean conservation. So try that. Can anybody, you don't want to read his lips. This is supposed to be a clean channel. Here, do we need to make him go away? We can make him go away for a minute. So anyhow, if anybody's so inclined, give these guys a vote. See if we can't give them a boost. Anyhow, yeah, that's about wraps it up for today. I know it's taco time. Dad is still recovering too, so we'll let him recover some more. If you don't know what's going on with him, watch his live stream from yesterday. He goes in a bit more detail what's going on. I'm not going to discuss it here because he don't want it discussed anyway. So we shall see y'all next week again, same time, same place. There'll be some new builds coming up. There'll be some new tech coming up. So we'll have plenty to talk about next week again. And he's still on the phone, so we'll just call it a day here. If you could, hit the thumbs up on the way out, please. I'd much appreciate it. And if you don't see Chuck Covaction Travel in their community tip as well, you will find the link. Until then, we'll see y'all later. Have a good night. And until next week. Until then, bye.